Hey everybody, how's it going? If you weren't aware, yesterday, or at least yesterday as of the time of recording, Rollahan released a new printer called Min, the Micro Delta, as it was formerly called. It is an adorable Delta with a very small BOM, and that lends itself very well to being made from spare parts. And I have a lot of spare parts. So what we're going to do today is go through my assortment of parts, see what I have and what I need to buy in order to actually build one of these micro deltas. Okay, so first and foremost, we need a frame. I bought these as well as a pack of dryland bearings on Amazon, or dryland bushings, I should say. Anyways, I bought these all on Amazon, and they sent me one bushing instead of the whole pack of like 10 that I ordered, and all of these rods are too big and don't work. So I have to go return those. In the meantime, we're going to go the full spares route. We have 4 rods here, and we also have 2 carbon fiber rods, which were part of Carbon Core, the original Carbon Core. I think it's still Rollo's most popular video to date. It's a simple core mod that had sort of a bamboo-esque X-axis on it with the carbon rods. I bought that off him a while ago, and now I finally have a use for these rods, so they're going to go in the frame. I'm going to have to do some mods though, because these are 250, these are 300, so somehow this all has to fit. But we're going to call that my frame done. Okay, what else do we need? Boards. So, this is Phoenix stuff. Here we go. So I have a whole drawer of boards basically, because actually I don't even know why I have so many, it's kind of embarrassing. But one of these guys should do the trick. Tentatively, we're going to just take an SKR Mini because that seems like a pretty solid option. I don't really want to use the Creality board in the back here because, you know, these suck. This would be a fine board, but it's a little big for such a tiny Delta. Even this, I think I'm going to have to mod the frame to fit, but we're going to go with that for now. Okay, board's done. What next? Motors. I don't know if I can lift this with one hand. So this here is Mitsubishi's big box of motors. I don't want to tease you guys. I have some pretty nice ones in here. Like, where are the 2804s? Yeah, some nice 2804 S80s. Those aren't 2804s. These are the other nice motors I have. I have a lot of nice motors, but we're not going to use any of them. Instead, I'm just going to use plain old Creality steppers because they are the only set of motors that I actually have 3 of that aren't these special long shaft LDOs because these are going for something else. So there you have it. Now we have motors. They're a little bit lackluster, but should be fine. What next? Extruder and Hotend. We have a few options. V6 is kind of boring. Somewhere around here I have a bamboo Hotend. Let me find it. Okay, I don't really know what happened, but I can't find the bamboo one anywhere. If I find it, I'm going to use it. If I can't, then I guess we will settle for the V6 clone. I really hope we don't have to use this though, because this is going to really, really limit our speed. In regards to extruders, we have sort of 2 options here. The Orbiter 1.5, which doesn't have a motor on it, but that's the 1.5, and then the full-sized LGX. I'm going to go with the Orbiter purely just because I don't think an LGX level of power is going to help when we're obviously just going to be Hotend limited. I mean, definitely Hotend limited with the V6, but also probably Hotend limited with the bamboo. So I see no reason to use the overkill extruder when we're probably not going to get any benefits. And I can use this for a future project. So, Orbiter it is. So we have a few different options for power supplies. I have quite a few, like Phoenix's old one and the Carbon Core's old one, but honestly, I think it's best if I just buy like an AC adapter, sort of like a laptop charger, purely just because fitting a full-size PSU on this tiny Delta is gonna A, look ridiculous, and also B, make it a lot less portable. I would rather just have something that I can disconnect, throw in a bag somewhere, because that's the whole point of this printer, really, is to be portable. And, you know, you can take it and screw around with it on the go. So I'm going to probably just buy that, even though it does increase my total build cost quite a bit. That's okay, though. Next up, probably belts, pulleys, I don't know. Thankfully, in my eternal hoarding, here we are, I have a whole bucket of old belts. Some of these are better than others, like some of these are definitely just like pouch belts. Like these ones for sure are, if I can grab them. But some of these are genuine gates, like the Trident's old belts before I put the EPDM belts on, stuff like that. So we're just, this counts. There's plenty of belt for the whole tiny delta in there. I'll just have to cut it down into the right size. This mislabeled drawer here is our friend when it comes to F695s. We need actually like exactly 3 of those for the double shear. It does use toothed idlers, and I'm not sure I have any of those for 6mm belts. I'll have to look. Okay, so here, as you can kind of see, well, bittersweet. I have 2 out of 3 6mm toothed idlers, but I do have 3 of these, which are for, if you'd focus, which are for 9mm belts. So I might be able to mod it and sort of like shim it, but honestly, I think I'll just probably buy 1 more toothed idler. That seems easier than modding the whole frame. I can't remember if the BOM calls for a 3010 fan or a 2510 fan, but I have both, so we're gonna just put those in the pile. I do have some 5015s lying around, but I'm gonna buy a 12-volt one and overvolt it because I think that's gonna give me the best cooling performance. So we'll have to add that one to the shopping list. While throwing this all together, one thing that I sort of forgot to include would just be like general wiring, but I have enough of that from old builds that I can basically repurpose. I have some other just looms of like 24 gauge and 12 gauge wire, so for the main power supply stuff and basically everything on the printer we should be fine. So I'm not going to throw that into the pile here because really that would just create a huge mess, and I do have it, but I don't feel like throwing it all together. And really, I mean, this looks like a really small pile of stuff, but we have the frame, we have the board, we have motors, we have fans, hot ends, extruders, belts. You could argue we don't have the computer, like the single board computer to run Clipper, but I have a strategy for that, but I'm not going to show you yet because I can milk one future video out of it, basically. But I do have a solution for that. And that's really most of it. One thing that isn't here at all is arms. Now, I looked at the stock arms, and I decided I'm not really a fan. They're the same kind of arms that the Predator used, and I wasn't too happy with them on the Predator. Now look, I'm not the expert when it comes to Delta arms, but a few people way smarter than me in that regard really don't like them for a variety of reasons. Basically, because they're all metal on metal, eventually they wear out, they get sloppy, then you need to like sort of pre-tension the arms, which is why you see a lot of old Deltas with springs on the arms. That is, provided they're not ball cup arms, which are a different type of arms that also uses springs on the arms, but we're not talking about those. So I think the optimal strategy for the arms is going to be MP jets, which is what a lot of people use nowadays. I looked, and the cost of getting the jets versus the arms that Rollo spec'd, the difference is only like $10 or something, and it should be way nicer. I also want to experiment with fabricating my own arms out of carbon fiber rather than printing them, but that's going to be a whole thing in and of itself. I guess the way I see it is that if I can do it, you can do it too, but I have zero experience in that regard, so we'll have to see when the time comes. So those are coming, the MP jets. They're not going to be here for a while because I have to order them from overseas, so probably a few weeks out still, sadly. But with this much stuff, we can definitely get started and have something ready for when those joints arrive, and then we can finish off the Delta. So thanks for bearing with me. I know this was kind of a lot of back and forth from the wall to the here, but now we have most of the parts to start a mini Delta build, and I think it's going to be a ton of fun. If you want to build your own mini Delta, then I highly recommend you join the Rollahan server. We just hit 5,500 members, which is huge, and there's plenty of awesome channels there, awesome people to talk to, and I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun building your own. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.